The last year at the dungeon, 2011. The last year for a pretty good while of having the 215-pound weight class. 2011. Our guest here today was able to win the 2011 215 state championship. Sir, if you would, tell us who you are.
My name's Kyle Durbin from Eastern High School.
And of course, for those of us not in the Louisville area, it's Eastern is in Louisville. Over there on Shelbyville Road, they're probably, about 3 miles or so from Valhalla Golf Club. Does that sound about right?
That sounds about right.
Yeah. This is October 15th, 2024. So, of course, as of the day of this filming, it is the first day of the wrestling season for 2024-25 season. And earlier in May of 24, my dad and myself went down to the PGA Championship there at Valhalla. Beautiful part of the city over there on Shelbyville Road, real close to the Gene Snyder. So I got a standard question we start everybody off with here is, what gets you into wrestling? How do you find it?
Well, I didn't start until my freshman year. Played football freshman year. It's kind of funny. My offensive line coach kept hounding me every day, asking me, telling me, wrestling would be good for my footwork and my tackling and all that kind of stuff. And I kept just brushing him off. But my technology teacher was the assistant coach, Patrick Coombs. Don't know.
Yep.
I was getting it from him and Coach Davis every day, and finally I just decided to go out. Thought I was in pretty good shape, and first day of wrestling practice, understood that I wasn't. So it was either, go out there and quit, or try and stick it out, tough it out, and see what it was going to be.
Yeah, of course, if you played football and wrestled, I didn't play football in school, so I can't attest to this, but it's not a worldwide earth-shaking revelation that football shape is different than wrestling shape.
It's not even close.
And football, no matter what position you play, offense, defense, special teams, you're going hard during a play for 25, 30 seconds tops, sometimes, if that. And yeah, it's 48 minutes, but you get timeouts, you get all these breaks, you get a halftime. You're not always out there unless you have a very small roster on the team. You can I'm not going to say chill, but you're not going full. You can fatigue, but you don't get wore down like you do in wrestling, man. Wrestling, 6 minutes feels like, 600 days if you're, even if you're in good shape sometimes. So, yeah, there's a big, big, big difference between football shape and wrestling shape. And it's kind of cool to hear that I would say you're in the last generation of wrestlers that could start in high school and win a state championship. Just because of how early the wrestlers are getting into it now. And unless you're just, Andre the Giant in the heavyweight class that can just, pick somebody up, spin them on their finger, then lay them down. Even with you being 215, they still some dudes. You just missed out on Austin Myers there. He won in 4 years in a row at 220, which would have been your weight class if you would have been 1 year removed or 1 year a little bit younger. Nevertheless, man, 215 is your class. Let's talk about your state tournament run. Now, 2009, 189 pounds as a sophomore. You make it to the state tournament. We have the old saying in wrestling, you either win or you learn. 2009, that was a learning year for you. Nothing wrong with that. 2010, 189 pounds as a junior. You make it to the podium. You come in sixth place. So, man, you're seeing improvement. You're on the podium. You got to be happy. I'm sure everybody wants to win a state championship. Nobody breaks down their huddle. All right, guys, get in here. 1, 2, 3. Third place or 1, 2, 3. Whatever. It's 1, 2, 3 state champs. 1, 2, 3. Whatever. You got to be happy with sixth place, correct?
Oh yeah, extremely happy. I would say I made it to the semifinals. Lost to the kid who eventually won the state championship. When I dropped down in the next round, I had to wrestle Bernard Ray, the guy who was projected to win state.
Mm-hmm.
And then I wrestled the guy that I beat in the quarterfinals in my last match. So I won 3 straight, lost 3 straight.
It happens. We got, of course, Bernard Ray from LaRue County, his 2012 review videos on the channel. So if you've not watched his, man, you can go back after this and watch it. But he's on the channel. Heck of a wrestler. But 2011, though, man, you're a senior, 215 pounds. And I love asking guys this question, is you're on the podium, you go from not placing to being on the podium to winning it in 3 years, in the 3-year span. One of the beauties about this series is being able to have your guys' stories, being able to have your guys' wrestling development so the generation coming up can have your stories and your information to go off of. So what do you think got you over the hump from not placing to winning it?
Freshman year, I think I was just learning, learning all the moves, the counters, understanding body control. Sophomore year, I would say that I got a little bit better. I think I went 2-2 or 1-2 in the state tournament. So I actually got in there and got a win. But I think it's just putting in the work, not taking breaks in practice. And it definitely helped that I had a great wrestling partner. And then my coaches and some other kids that would come into the wrestling room that used to wrestle, big, strong guys. They honestly kind of taught me to use my speed instead of trying to use strength and outmuscle people. Because both years I was on the podium, I wrestled up in weight class. Junior year in 2010, I wrestled 89 at 170, and then senior year I wrestled 189 most of the year, and then there was a tournament called the Jefferson County Tournament of Champions, and there was nobody in my weight class that I thought would challenge me, and felt like leading up to the state tournament I needed to challenge myself. So I decided to go up to 215 and wrestle the number 1 kid in the state if I met him in the finals. So I went in there and I beat him in a hard-fought overtime match. And I figured
what was his name so we can have it?
So Brendan
If you don't remember, that's fine.
Brendan Darrow from Trinity High School.
Okay.
So I wrestled him in a tough weight class or in a tough match. And I figured, if I can beat him, I can tough it out in this weight class.
Yeah.
So I wrestled that I think the last day of state, I weighed in at 190 pounds for the 215 weight class.
Wow. Son, that's, man, that may not seem like a lot to the person that doesn't know much about wrestling, but when you get to that 215 weight class, man, they some studs, they some dudes in that weight class, and that can be even a couple pounds. If you're weighing in at 211 and you're wrestling somebody that weighs in the max they can do it, I believe 218 or 219 there on the last day.
Yeah,
that's a lot of weight. I can't imagine being that light coming into that class. So you must have really, really had some speed and some technique there to make up for that lack of weight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it got me in some bad trouble a couple times trying to turn people over, and you get high on those situations.
I got you, man. I got you. So let's talk about your 2011 bracket. You start off the state tournament with a 11-5 win over Eli Meredith from LaRue County. You get to the second round, you win a 12-5 decision over Samuel Vanover of Whitley County. You get to the quarters, you're wrestling Brandon, I believe it's Samoda.
Yes, sir.
From Meade County. You win that by a squeaker, man, a 10-9 decision. But Brandon goes on to get 8th place. Now, I was going to ask you about this one. You get to the semis, you're wrestling Cody Holland from Perry Central, and it's got you winning by a DQ. So what happened there, man?
So we were wrestling in the format away from the entrance, and I'm not going to lie, he was beating me. I think he was up a point or two, and he picked me up and slammed me after we went out of bounds. And I actually separated my shoulder while we were rolling around on the mat. I popped it back in place, or while I was rolling around in pain, I popped it back in place. And I got up. I decided, I'm going to fight for this. So I got up, continued wrestling, and I got slammed again. The ref called another illegal penalty. It was on the same shoulder. And the ref called the illegal move again, and I couldn't continue. My shoulder was out of socket. They brought over the trainer, and he told me, it's not a wise decision. And so after the second one, they DQ'd him.
I got you. And, man, that's the reason why we have the penalty for illegal slam in the rule book, or it's part of the penalty chart, is because, in Greco and freestyle, you can slam. In folk style, you can lift and return and you can throw, but you can't slam, and that's
you got to control
the rules. And it's just like any sport, man. If you foul somebody in basketball in the state finals, they're going to call it. If you hold somebody or have a block in the back or have a pass interference, they're going to call it. So you got to stay within the rules, man. You get to the finals, you're wrestling Trent Hardy from Ashland Paul Blazer. Now, of course, to the viewing audience, we're not going to tell you the score. We have the face-off match and medal ceremony. So I have to ask, man, had you wrestled Trent before?
No, he's from way away from Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
Never wrestled in the weight class, and he's a big boy.
Yeah.
Big, strong kid. And so it was the first time I'd seen him. My coach came up because he was wrestling Brendan Darrow, the kid that I wrestled in that one match. Should note, about 2 or 3 weeks later after I wrestled Darrow, he got me back. I think he beat me by 6 or 7 points. It was bad. And so he's wrestling in the semis against Trent Hardy. And last second, Trent gets him. And me and my coaches were watching the match, so we had to come up with new game plan because he's a strong kid.
Yeah.
And
Ashland, I don't have it in front of me, but I would have to imagine. You know what? Actually, while we're talking, I'm going to pull up how far it is. I should have had that right in my notes. But Ashland is I'm about an hour south of Ashland. Ashland is right there at the where Kentucky, at the very tip of the state there, where Ohio and West Virginia come together. That's where Ashland is. Let me look it up here real quick because I want to make sure that I get it right. If you come out of Ashland's school there, you can get on I-64 and take a straight shot almost literally right to Eastern. It wouldn't be just a couple turns. Let's see here. Looks like it would be about 175 miles between Ashland's high school and Eastern's high school. About 2 hours and 45, 2 hours and 50-minute drive. So I could see you guys not seeing each other. Now, you said something there that I want to touch on before we go on. is you had to come up with a new game plan for wrestling him. What was the game plan going in against Hardy?
The game plan was, use your speed, stay on the outside, don't let him get on top of you. So a lot of outside shots, stay away from the tie up.
Yeah,
Just honestly try and wear him out.
that's a good. It's good that you said that. A lot of people have said that, but with wrestling growing, the sport growing, to the wrestlers, the coaches may not be familiar with planning your teams or your lineups, how you wrestle. You don't just go out and wrestle uh, the moves that you do in practice. You got to have a game plan, especially when you get into placement rounds at the state tournament, regionals, or whatever, because your wrestlers all may have a certain set of skills. One may be taller, one may be shorter, one may be a machine on their feet taking people down. One may be able to, not fight off a takedown to save their life, but they can get off their back, or they can hit a reversal from anywhere. If you know that your opponent's going in, you maybe wrestle a team that likes upper body attacks. Hey, let's not lock up with them. If you're wrestling a team that has really good, not just that one wrestler, but the whole team, they have a really good shot. They have a really good takedown arsenal. Hey, let's create some distance, and hopefully they overexert themselves or overextend, and we can hit a chancellor. We can hit some type of a slide by or a simple drag, something to that effect. Because wrestling, a lot of your better coaches teach more of a strategy. What's the old saying? They're playing checkers while we're playing chess.
Yep.
If you have a good game plan going in, it really helps the kids get for that match be more prepared. Now, I like to ask everybody this question: has it been a while since you've watched your state finals video?
It's been about a year or two. I'm coaching at Eastern now, so a couple of my kids have been asking me about it. I went and pulled it offline and showed it to them. So,
and that's one of the beautiful things about this series, is having so many guys on the channel that are into the coaching realm now. And I think, I could be mistaken, but didn't Eastern drop their program for a while?
yeah, this is going to be our third season back, I believe. I started late in the first season of the startup.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's good though, man. It's good that the program's starting back up. After we watch your video, there's a lot. We'll talk about the state champions. Eastern's had a lot of great history there, and we'll talk about some of the notable alumni, if you will, from Eastern. So we're going to pull up your match video here, bub. You're looking at Kyle Terry, and that's not Kyle. Who's at 160? I'm not sure, but you got JJ Jude there. You
JJ
got
Jude,
Brandon Barnett, yourself, and then the kid from North Hardin. Can't think of his name. He beats the. I gotta look it up now because it's aggravating me.
He beat the kid from the sales.
Well, he beat in the finals. He beat Campbell County there at heavyweight.
That's right.
Let's see here. Who is the heavyweight that year? Aaron House.
Yes.
And of course, he beat our good buddy Mason, 2012 state champion Mason Frank from Campbell County, on Mason's videos on the channel. So you're there, man. You're in the center of the dungeon. Crowd's going crazy. It's the last year there. You had seen the finals a couple times before. It was awesome, wasn't it?
It was insane. I'd been in plenty of face-offs, wrestling. Making it to the finals, junior and senior year. But turning off the lights and the glow sticks going, it makes for a completely different experience.
And so far from 2011, we've got Garth Yenner on the channel, TJ Rochelle. We've got Jace Carr. We've got Zach Salyer at 140, Joe Whalen at 145, JJ Jude at 171. Of course, you now are going to be at 215. Just a just a great year. Brock was in this. John Fahey was in this state final. So a lot of Kentucky royalty. And you also had Sean Fowles wrestling TJ. Of course, Sean Fowles, two-timer, went on to NC State, four-time Division One NCAA qualifier there at NC State. So just a great year for wrestling. Enough talking about it, man. Let's watch it.
And now
Let's do it.
215-pound weight class, we have Kyle Durbin. 41
And I believe you've got a mohawk, correct?
I did. I was planning on dyeing the mohawk, but I was told that if it bled on the mat, I could be disqualified. So I decided against that one.
Yeah.
He's wearing the hood. I like that.
And now,
And here you are, man. Here's the match under the lights.
and now
I've had to turn the volume down almost to nothing because it is such a it's so loud.
already had a blazer of Ashland.
And you've got two really good referees out there. The head referee right there with his back to us is Mike Ford, longtime friend of mine and mentor. And then the assistant referee in this match, his name is George Keeney. George is no longer with us. He passed away a couple years ago. So
Sorry to hear that.
George. But right out of the gate, man, you can tell that he's bigger than you. You can just tell by looking.
That's what my coach was trying to get me to avoid. That throw right there.
Yep. And it was good, though, that you felt his power right out of the gate, and you kind of knew, okay, this is for real now, right?
Yeah. I mean, even when I get in on him, like you saw there, he's strong.
Yeah.
Out of bounds with a minute 22 to go in the first period.
And that's 2 times that he's got you in eighth row right there on the edge of the mat. I believe, you know, you can tell that size advantage is starting to show itself.
Yeah.
Early.
I mean, I think, you know, I got myself into some bad situations a couple times in this match just because of how big and strong he was.
Yeah.
Don't know if I'd want to get into a pummeling.
Trying to keep inside control and keep that wrist so he can't lock me up again.
First period.
Yeah.
Takes a shot, but gets it.
All right, so you lift right there, but you're not able to finish. And you go down, we're out of bounds there.
Advantage yet. There's nothing yet.
And I believe you've got, or he's got a former Eastern State champion in his corner and coach Jerry Whalen.
Did not actually know that.
Yep, Jerry Whalen, he's on the channel, 1980 and 1981 state champion from Eastern. I believe Jerry's his coach here.
I know the name because they had pictures up in the hallway outside the gymnasium with all the former state champions.
Yep, that's I'm almost positive that he's the coach here.
Time running down here in the first period, 13 seconds. Scoreless between these two wrestlers at 215 pounds.
All right, so you're in on a single. Not able to. He's backing up. Come on, Mike. Stalling right there, buddy. What we doing?
I don't think he's taking a shot yet.
I was just going to say the same thing. Absolutely.
All right, so into the first period, 0-0. You look over at your corner, you defer.
Kyle Durbin gets the first,
and he's going to take down. All right. So on top here, first time we've got to see you on top. What are we looking to do? What's your go-to breakdown?
Chop and dump. And I went to the leg first.
Yeah, it happens, man. It happens.
I like putting pressure on people, not letting their hips get up was the plan. Just constantly work so he has no idea what's coming. Yeah, I don't want somebody to have an easy time up, basically.
I
get it, buddy. I understand.
That aggression absolutely can be paid off. I mean, you keep coming. You keep working and moving. Eventually, you're going to get it. Right through to his back.
The first time that you try any type of offense, he's able to get his hips
You really don't want these guys crashing.
and almost get a reversal
We're a
on
little
you.
too close, I feel. For the
It
first
won't be the
time,
last
I think
time.
we're too close.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I had, wrestling so far up, I had to take some chances.
0-0
Yep.
between these two wrestlers.
Caution on green, going a little fast there.
The
Giving away
got a caution there. It happens. It
Real
happens.
quick and get him to the mat.
It happens.
Does not want Trent Hardy to get a chance to get up. Hardy goes with it.
Trying to get a near fall count there. Ooh.
Yep.
2 near fall.
2 back points.
And then
It's
2
Two
countered
reversal.
almost
Yep.
immediately by a switch by Trent Hardy. So we're still tied.
So we're tied 2-2.
2-2. Points fast and furious on that sequence.
When he hits you with that reversal and you're on the
Put
bottom,
him on his back. He got a little
Did it-
high and Trent went right
did-
around the back
I mean,
door.
did you feel in danger? Did you feel like, all right, I'm safe here? Or
Yeah, obviously you don't want to be on your back
Not
like
how you want
that
it.
right
There's the
there.
guillotine right there.
yeah, I was
That
gonna
is the
say he
guillotine.
hit you with a stack.
Yep.
And you can see
And
why the
you're able to
movement is
fight
going.
through
Looks like
it.
You're about to take your head off.
That's
This
that
is the
Very
strength
appropriately
and
named
that
right
size
there.
difference, man. It really
5-2
is.
lead for Hardy.
That was the point in time right there where I started getting a
20
little
seconds
worried.
to go, second period.
Doubt starts creeping in. Don't know if I can actually get this done.
Kyle Durbin
Yeah.
strong enough to really get out of it, which is great. So 5-2.
Yeah, no, that was good by you to fight off your back, though, for real.
Right here, he pushes me out, and my coach looks at me and tells me, "You got to get up. 3.8 seconds, get it done."
That
Yeah.
sequence really
So
got him up 5-2, and he
I
was
just
wrestling with a little bit more
thought my
urgency.
mind explode up.
Very methodical wrestler.
Maybe he'll let me
What he
go.
wants to do isn't going to take anything else other than that. And he's going to bull his way into doing that, which is, hey, it seems to work for him. He is
Oh,
big
yeah.
enough
Get
to-
up, hand control. You get that was good on your part, man.
There's an escape
Getting
right
escape
here.
with less than 4 seconds like
So we
that.
still have a good match going. 5-3. Hardy leading, entering the third.
All right,
Coach
so it's your
actually told
choice.
me.
You're
Coach actually
you're
told me to
taking
go
down.
neutral.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, bub. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to talk over you.
My coach actually told me to go neutral, but I knew I needed some free points.
Yeah.
Started the
I figured I'd try and stand back up.
up.
And oh, come on, Mike. 1. Come
Hand was
on.
still behind the bag.
Ooh, come on, Mike. He's gonna watch this, and he'll message me as soon as he watches it. He'll be like, "That's 1."
That happens in the middle of the mat. That's probably going to be an escape. It's going to bring you to just a 1-point lead. Switch his side, and there's a switch. and we're
There's a
tied
reversal,
Wow, good
again. Nice
move.
switch by Kyle Durbin. Really got that arm in deep.
and
Popped those hips.
you kind of cut him there. I think that was smart to conserve energy.
Yeah, I got a little.
Left.
I was pulling him on top of me, so if I'd have done that, I'd have put myself in a
Very
worse
good match,
position.
Adam.
Yep. Wrestlers, there's an old saying, 1, not 2.
That was close right there.
You had that whizzer right there. That was smart on your part to have it in there.
I like the call. It's the right call. Those guys are they're out of bounds.
Yeah, that
Durbin.
was-
Durbin works. Durbin brings it back.
There it is.
There's a takedown.
Oh, you get a
Durbin.
takedown?
Up by 1.
Oh,
with a
my.
minute 13 left.
Oh, my goodness.
See that aggressiveness.
I think that was about the point where he was starting to get a little tired.
High there. You
Mhm.
stay back on Hardy's hips. He's
'Cause I hit the fake there, and he
Remains
really didn't
another
react.
undefeated wrestler.
1
on
minute
the
for
ropes.
glory.
1 minute. Kyle Durbin, a senior. Both of them seniors. Durbin, 41-3.
Breathing hard, those two are. Durbin especially, but he's working. He's going to work that half, I think. Really keep
Trying
it
for a
close.
ball and chain, he's just fighting
Yep.
it off.
Hardy needs to come up.
Out of bounds with 30 seconds to go. What a match.
So you're up 1 point, 30.6 seconds left. Do you look over at the clock and think, all right, if I don't get turned, if I don't let him up, I've got this, or just because
It was, continue to keep working because
There's a reversal. Right
it
quick.
was almost bad. It was- but I was thinking continue to keep working, that way he can't hit anything on me.
Oh, my
Hardy
goodness.
needs to work and crank this over to get
Yeah.
the track. That-
Now, right
I'll
here,
tell you,
man,
these points come. They're
you
coming
can tell
quick.
that
You
he's
better
tired
keep up.
because
You're
he's
not
not
gonna
trying
get
to work
10
for
seconds,
anything,
less than 10. Durbin leading by 1.
it. Hardy's got to work. You let him right
and he
up.
just lets you
Gotta
up.
go after
Yep.
him.
Oh, my.
And he just avoids it.
And there it is, the final, 10-8.
Kyle Durbin, an upset at 2:15, knocking off Trent Hardy of Ashland Blazer, 36-0 on the year. The fans
And
do not like
the,
it. What a great match between
man,
Durbin and Hardy.
I think that match was won by you
That's
there
big time right there.
in those last
That's a
couple
big time
seconds.
match, you know, when
In the
one's
second
down,
period when you
other
got
down,
that escape,
that's a
and
difference of
then
1 point.
the last couple seconds
Hardy,
there
another
in the
undefeated
third
wrestler
period
tonight,
when he
coming
kind
up
of,
short,
you could tell he was
beating
tired and he
Brandon
cut
Barnett in
you.
the match before
So
him.
those two
And
escapes
also
you
coming
got,
up
those
short,
proved
Aaron
to be
Beck
very,
and,
very, very,
Jake
very
Hoffman. So
valuable.
we've had, and earlier, Kyle
Yeah, I
Durbin,
mean, I
5
tell
wrestlers
my current kids,
coming into tonight,
you
undefeated
never
on
know
the year,
when that point is
losing their
gonna
first match. So
affect the match.
Absolutely.
that was an exciting
And
match
so I
at
say
215
you got to keep
pounds.
working and try to score as many points as you
And, you know,
can
we said it earlier.
Yeah.
because it could be the
match,
deciding
Durbin
factor.
Absolutely.
kept being the aggressor.
Now,
And,
let's see here.
and it seemed like,
You just saw Brandon
counterpunching
Simota
most
get his 8th place medal.
Really, it pays off.
Here comes Cody Holland getting
the
his
award
6th place.
presentations for 215 and 285, and then the team presentation.
That's right. Well, yet again, it's
Here comes
another
Brandon
great
getting his.
tournament here in the state of Kentucky. Good matches.
I will say this,
Really great
you know,
athletes, great
at
coaches,
215,
referees,
every single one of
great
those kids that I wrestled in that tournament
behind the
was
scenes.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
And we're gonna
Here
stay
comes
here
Cody
right
getting his
the
medal.
Trophy presentation for 285. So that's, you know, we're going to
And
stay here. We're going to make sure you see.
It looks a whole lot darker on
Again,
camera
Steve
than what it was in
broadcast
person. It was dark inside the building, but
KHSAA and all its partners. And
they done an excellent job, the KHSAA,
Thank you for
with
being here.
the with the lights, the way they was only on the
It
podium
was,
Oh, yeah.
during the finals. So it was cool to see in person, but it doesn't really translate well on
Spot
video.
on with everything you said, because from the moment I arrived, it was great atmosphere, great fan support.
There's
again.
Brendan Darrow
People
right there.
In this
Yep.
room, in this facility, no wrestling. That's quite apparent.
They do.
And the passion that I was able to watch a lot of the earlier matches for.
There's Trent
third, fourth,
getting
fifth,
his,
sixth place, and the passion
his
was very
medal.
strong. The team spirit was there, and it was
And here
very
comes you,
exciting to be a
man.
part of tonight.
I believe, is that Aaron
Again,
Reardon
Dave
giving you your
Stubble,
medal?
I believe so, yes.
Because Aaron,
I've been
his
to
video's on the
16,
channel.
I've been
Aaron's
to
a
the
2000,
cross-country,
215 state champion. He won his in
championships. There's great
overtime.
atmosphere there.
Excellent job from Oldham County.
There's just
One of the
something
best
special
finals
about
matches you'll
state
see.
championship, contest at the high school level
So
in the state.
I can see Aaron having a little love for the 215s.
You know, you're the best in the state. You're number one. You've trained so
And like I
hard,
said, you really
so
can't see it
long.
because the way the
Now it's
lighting
here,
was,
you
but
know,
being there in
before you
person, man,
stand on
it
that
was so
podium,
cool to
you
see
get
that, just that one
that,
spotlight on the
I'm sorry, you get that
on the
the
podium.
reference back.
And that's where this one ends. So, of course, you've got to watch it back a few times since then, but every time you watch it, do you kind of like wrestle it, like try to move your body like you're wrestling the match, or still have, still can feel getting lifted and all that kind of stuff?
I can still remember what his strength was like. And, you know, I think, how could I have done this move better, especially now being a coach, trying to figure out how to teach specific moves and all that kind of stuff. So that's probably what I think about now.
I get it, man. And for not having wrestled him before, only having maybe watched him wrestle at the most 4 times, 4 matches earlier in the state tournament, you wrestled him very well. I mean, there's an old saying, take people into deep waters, stay safe enough, not get pinned. Like in MMA or boxing, you hear people talk about not getting knocked out, not getting submitted, taking them into, round 11, round 12, see what their gas tank is like, taking them into the 5th or 4th period there in MMA bouts for you. You took him very deep, and you can tell you got tired there at the end, and it paid off. I mean, it really did.
Yeah, it was the game plan to try and wear him out. That's the only thing I know.
And as it stands now, your Eastern's latest state champion, but I don't want to say last state champion because you never want to put that on a team, but you're the latest. And let's talk about it. Eastern has 8, as of this filming, 18 state champions. 1970 and 1971, Ray Russell. 1977, Cliff. I believe it's Carwick. 1978, Dave McMillan. He was the most outstanding wrestler at 185. 1979, Mike Moriarty. 1979, Todd Ryan. 1979, Mike Miracle. 1980 and 1981, our buddy Jerry Whalen on the channel. 1981, Danny Hartnett. 1990, Ron Robinson. 1993, Ronzell Piercy. 1993, Vernon Jackson. 1999, William Randall. We've talked to William. We're going to be getting with him. 2002, Derek Sawyer. Our buddy Justin Davis, 2008 and 2009. Of course, 2009, JD was the most outstanding, and then, of course, you in 2011. And the 1978, 1979, and 1993 team state runner-ups at the state tournament. And you guys have some pretty famous people that went to Eastern. You had Ned Beatty, the actor, famous for the movie Deliverance, a couple other movies, but Deliverance, I believe, is what he's really known for. Former University of Kentucky and NFL player Myron Fryer. And then, of course, I think the crown jewel of the Eastern High School athletic program, University of Kentucky, Hall of Famer, NBA multiple-time champion, Hall of Famer, Rajon Rondo. Of course, I think Rondo only went there a couple years. He transferred to Oak Hill, but he still went to Eastern for a couple years, man, and that counts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a few pro basketball players, some football players, some Olympians.
Mm-hmm.
Eastern's got some proud history in athletics.
And, glad to have you on the channel. We want to say thank you to our boy, Tony Mitch, for getting this lined up. We met a couple days ago as of this filming. We met at the annual preseason referee conference and clinic at Bellarmine University, and got to meet Tony, and he got me hooked up with you, got me your number. We got William Randall lined up, and we've got Derek Sawyer. We're in contacts with Derek to get him on the channel. So we got an Eastern pipeline opened up, and we're going to get as many of those guys as we can that we have the video for. So in wrapping this video up, wrapping up your story, man, is there anything you'd like to add, say, take away, tell Justin Davis how weak he is, anything like that?
Funny about that, my freshman year, just starting out, a few weeks in, I was doing some freshman things, messing around, not taking things serious. JD said, "You're going with me." And there was a sizable weight gap there. Mm-hmm. And he pounded me into the mat, teaching me how to do things the right way.
Yeah.
JD's a good dude. He's come out this year and a little bit of last year, and helping some of our kids do some specific moves. JD was well known for duck unders and slide bys. Has one of the fastest shots I've ever seen.
Yeah, JD, man, he's a great wrestler. He's a great ambassador for the Eastern program to be able to have. He's still, his 2009 and 2008 state finals are still brought up as being one of the better performances in the I don't want to say lower weights, but I think he was 135 and 140 respectively. That's still lower weights. It's not 106 and 113, we know that, but it's still lower weight, and he still has a lot of respect for what he was able to do there in those 2 years. So having somebody around, having somebody the kids now can look up to and see and say he's the most outstanding wrestler. Great, like I said, great ambassador. But anything else, man, before we put a bow on this one and wrap it up?
I think I'd like to speak to some of the new wrestlers. Stick it out. You know, it's tough. You've got to be mentally and physically tough to do this sport. A lot of people get in there and they quit after a little bit because you got to be a little crazy to do this sport. I would venture to say. So I would say tough it out. The conditioning's hard. Physical. If you go through a 6-minute match and you don't feel sore everywhere, I don't know if you were doing things right. So tough sport. So stick it out if you got the guts. It's well worth it. I think wrestling is the only reason that I was able to play 4 years in college football. So any football players that are out there, it's worth it to stick it out. I can guarantee that.
Where'd you play football at, man?
4 years at Lindsey Wilson College.
No kidding. The Blue Raiders, huh?
Blue Raiders.
That's I've got to go down there several times and referee. When we had the state duels, I got to go referee several times. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't Lindsey Wilson win like
In national championship
a couple times? Was you on one of those teams?
No, I think I finished in 2014.
Okay.
The football season in 2014, and I want to say they won in 18, something like that. So I know that he was still on the team. That I was a senior when he was a freshman. He was still on the team when they won it. He was the starting middle linebacker.
I got you. And of course, we'd be remiss if talking about Lindsey Wilson, we didn't say 3-time national champion. Brandon Reed wrestling. We've got his 3 national championship NAIA videos on the channel. So good time there. I think it's a great place to wrap this one up. So man, thank you for doing this. Best of luck to you and your team and everybody involved with the Eastern program. And you guys can get that program rolling again and get guys and girls. We now have girls wrestling. Get them on back on the podium and have Eastern represented. You guys know how to get it done there, so be looking forward to seeing you guys do great things, man.
Appreciate you having me. And speaking of girls, our best shot at probably getting another state championship was with one of our girls, Sarah Gutterman. She is, as long as she continues to work, she's got a real good shot. She's only a sophomore.
What weight class?
I think she was 26 last year.
Okay, because I got to officiate the girls' state tournament there, and you kind of, as a referee, you see. I'd hate to keep using the word kids, but I mean you keep seeing the wrestlers year after year after year go through elementary, go through middle school, go through high school, and you kind of get to know who they are, the family. What school they go to, whatever, and you kind of, I don't want to say you root for them, but you want to see them do good. You've seen their progression. You've seen them come up. You've seen them not being able to win a match, to making it to the podium, and it makes you feel good as a referee, seeing where they come from and watching them out there on the mat flop around like a fish to being hammers. And I don't want to say every kid that I've wrestled, but I could just about tell you, maybe not somebody out of state, or maybe if they've stuck with it for a couple years, I could just about tell you where I got to referee them at least once, or seen them in the state tournament or whatever. But I guess that's one of the fun parts about refereeing that I enjoy. Man, Kyle, thank you for doing this. Thank you all for watching. We will see you guys and girls on the mats.